So I just finished the first episode of Devil's Line, and I like it, but I don't really understand why. I mean, I do like me some good old, vampire stories. I've always been a fan of that, and I think if you have been around for a while, you know I do like that type of stuff. None of that Twilight crap, by the way. I don't like that Twilight vampire stories. I'm just saying, I've always been a fan of, romantic vampire stories, because I always have liked that vibe or theme of to where, the one that is a normal human being has to watch out for the person they love, possibly devouring them and sucking all their blood out. And I've always been a fan of those type of scenes, or those series, and seeing this show, it kind of rekindles that feeling I have for vampire shows. Maybe that's the reason why I enjoyed this first episode, but I can definitely say that if it wasn't for me liking vampire stories and, just wanting to see a vampire story, I probably would not have liked this first episode. And I can see many not liking Devil's Line because of how the first episode was done. So let's get right into that. The start of the episode is, I'm just going to be honest, it's pretty bad. It's bad. The color palette to just the way the action and animation and art was done, I'm just like, that looks really bad. And I mean, pretty bad. I mean, even the art on some of the characters' faces is very inconsistent at times, to even the eyeballs of some of the side supporting characters just looking very weird. And I'm just like, okay, obviously, after seeing the start of the series, the first episode, this is not going to be one of those shows that you're going to watch for art and animation. If there's one thing that's probably going to hold it up, it's going to be the story. That's the only thing that probably is going to make this worthwhile to watch. Now, like I said, I like the first episode, but I know for a fact just the first sequence of Devil's Line episode 1 is probably going to turn off a lot of people. And not to mention the opening song is pretty terrible. I'm not a big fan of the opening song by any means. After hearing, yes, the Tokyo Ghoul opening to, the Boku no Hero opening, and then, hearing, Darling in the Franxx over all these weeks, and all the other anime I've seen today, I just think that this opening was definitely lackluster. Now, I know it looks like I'm complaining a lot about the first episode of Devil's Line. I know it does, and I am, but even though I am, I have something from this series that just draws me towards it. I don't know. I just really like the theme of it. Now, it is edgy. This is a pretty edgy first episode, but not as edgy as Magical Girl Sight that aired yesterday, which I covered in a previous video. But I mean, I do like how it remained consistent with some of its edgy themes, and it actually makes sense instead of just borderline comedy, like how Magical Girl Sight was done yesterday. What I mean is, apparently it's established in the first episode that when vampires, sense blood or smell blood, they get this craze, this drug addiction feeling, and they just go on, this hyper, adrenaline mode, to where they just need it, they crave it and all that. And, I mean, as we know, in vampires and mythology and all that, vampires crave blood. They need blood to be able to live. And there is some depictions of vampires that show when they get blood, they just can't help themselves. They can't stop. And that's what happens here. The vampires in this story, when they smell blood, it controls them completely. The blood controls them. They're drawn in, and they need it. They want it. And it puts them in this, drug-crazed, state. And we see how someone that was actually kind of a good guy turned out to be a very bad person. I mean, we actually have two examples in this episode. We have the childhood friend, someone that's been around for a while that obviously has feelings for the main female character, and then we have the new guy that was introduced, that obviously is going to be the main love interest, that automatically seemed to be good, but then went savage vampire mode at the end of the episode, which was just a big WTF. But to get right into it, though, let's talk about the childhood friend type character. Obviously, he can't win. It's just obvious. I mean, even if he didn't get arrested or whatever that was going on in this episode, it was obvious he was not going to win. Childhood friends, they never win. That's just how it is. So, jokes aside, he apparently was someone that was a vampire for a while, and to satisfy his cravings, relieve himself, he attacked other random women. And the reason why he did this was because he wanted our main female character really badly, but he did not want to harm her. He did not want to hurt her, which shows he does, in some ways, he has some self-control. But as was already established, when a vampire gets the taste of blood, or when they smell it, it drives them mad. And so since, he was already driven mad, he couldn't help himself anymore. He was being controlled by his own, taste for blood. And that led it to where he became this person that was a monster. And eventually he had to be stopped and hunted down, which is what happened at the end of the episode. And I felt bad for the man, because obviously he really cared deeply for our main female character. And he tried to, remain normal, remain sane. You can even see in the moment when he grabs her and it looks like he was, smelling her and all that, about to, bite into her, and he still held back. He did not want to attack her. Now, I do believe if he was not stopped in this episode, that eventually he probably would have attacked our main female character. Probably ended up killing her. That's probably what would have happened. But it does show how much someone can change over time thanks to them being a vampire. So that was properly established with the first episode. Now, in terms of the twist with, how he turned out to be the bad guy at the end of the episode, I felt like that was very predictable. I have seen this in a lot of shows, a lot of, shows themed like this, where, there's monsters or whatever, and, you have this childhood friend or whatever that's been around, obviously, in love with the main female character. I've seen this done quite a bit. It's a common cliche. Now, it doesn't mean it's automatically bad just because I said it's a cliche. I'm just saying it was very predictable, but the way it was handled, I do like that. Now, in terms of the main male character, I'm assuming that, attacked our main female character at the end of the episode, that makes me question what's going to happen to him. Because from what was established, as soon as you get a taste for blood, you're not going to be able to help yourself anymore. And with him doing what he did, I wonder if he's going to be killed off as well, or if he's going to go on the run. Is he going to be able to control himself? I'm very curious. But for now, though, I do have to say, the series is pretty interesting. I don't think it's definitely a mandatory watch from, Spring of Anime 2018. I don't think many are probably going to like this series. I don't believe so. But I like this type of stuff. I know this ain't the greatest quality series that's came out from Spring, but I enjoyed it. So I'm probably going to continue watching it. I don't know if I will continue reviewing it. If you guys want more reviews on this series, let me know. Depending on how, your guys' feedback is, I might continue doing reviews on it, but I liked it. If you like vampires and stuff, then give it a watch. If you don't, I do say probably skip it, because there is some other things out there from this season that is actually better to watch. There's a couple of comedies that has come out that's pretty funny as well, which I probably won't be doing reviews on, but they're very fun. There's quite a few. Tada, for instance, that's amazing. Oh my god, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and I love you guys. Chibi out.